the lottery winner, who lost it all in just 3 years. On the morning of August 25, 2002, a 55-year-old man from West Virginia named Andrew Jack Whittaker Jr. walked into a small gas station in Hurricane, a quiet town just outside Charleston. To most locals, Whittaker was already a success story. A self-made contractor who had built diversified enterprises construction, employing more than 100 people. He lived in a spacious home with his wife, Jewel, and drove a Lincoln Navigator. Unlike many lottery players chasing dreams, Jack wasn't desperate. He was already a millionaire. That day, he bought a Powerball ticket on a whim. The jackpot was staggering, $314.9 million, the largest lottery payout in American history at the time. The following morning, when the numbers were announced, Jack checked his ticket and realized the unthinkable. He had just won. The cash option meant he would walk away with $113 million after taxes, a sum that could change not only his life, but the trajectory of his entire community. Jack became an instant celebrity. Cameras swarmed his modest West Virginia town. Reporters described him as the working man's millionaire, a symbol of the American dream. Standing before microphones, he promised to donate 10% of his winnings to Christian charities, fund new churches, and support his workers. "I'm going to take care of the people around me," he said with a smile. But behind the excitement, the first seeds of turmoil were already being planted. In the months after his win, Whittaker's life shifted from stability to chaos. He collected his winnings in December 2002, just before Christmas. The holiday season became a blur of generosity and excess. He handed out stacks of cash to strangers and waitresses, sometimes tipping $10,000 at restaurants. He donated $14 million to build 2 new churches in the area. He bought cars, property, and jewelry for his family. At first, these acts earned him admiration. Locals praised his generosity, calling him a folk hero. But money also attracted darker forces. In 2003, Jack's habit of carrying large sums of cash made him a target. Twice in 1 year, his car was broken into, once at a strip club parking lot, and thieves stole hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash he had stuffed into suitcases. Police reports shocked the nation. Why would a man, who had just become a multimillionaire, walk around with suitcases full of bills? The answer revealed a deeper problem. Whittaker, who had rarely drunk before his winnings, began spending nights at bars and clubs, where alcohol and gambling consumed him. "I wish I had torn up that ticket," he would later admit. His granddaughter, Brandy Bragg, then just a teenager, was given cars, credit cards, and unlimited access to money. Friends flocked to her home, where lavish parties spiraled into drug use. Within a year, the gift of wealth had become a curse. By 2004, the story that once captivated America as a fairy tale had turned into a cautionary tale. In September 2004, Brandy's boyfriend, Jesse Joe Tribble, was found dead from an overdose in Whittaker's home. Just 3 months later, in December 2004, Brandy herself vanished after a night out. Her body was discovered on December 20th behind a van in Putnam County. She was just 17 years old. The cause? An overdose of cocaine and methadone. The tragedies devastated Whittaker and his wife. Jewel later told reporters, "Money is supposed to make things better, but it tore our family apart." The pressure of lawsuits also mounted. Jack faced more than 400 legal claims, from people demanding a share of his fortune to casino disputes. He was sued by a casino for writing bad checks, by employees claiming he hadn't kept promises, and even by individuals who insisted he owed them money from verbal agreements. The man who once stood proudly before cameras, pledging to use his winnings for good, now found himself isolated and haunted. By 2006, just 4 years after his historic win, Jack Whittaker's fortune had all but evaporated. He admitted to reporters that he was broke, having given away or lost nearly all of his money. His marriage to Jewel collapsed under the strain. In interviews, Jack spoke candidly about his regrets. "I wish I'd torn up that ticket," he repeated. "My life was a lot happier without the money." In the years that followed, Whittaker lived quietly in West Virginia, largely out of the public eye. He lost his daughter, Ginger, in 2009, adding another layer of heartbreak. By the time of his death in June 2020, at age 72, he was remembered not as the man who once held the largest lottery jackpot in American history, but as a tragic figure, a warning of how sudden wealth can destroy as easily as it enriches. The story of Jack Whittaker is not simply about luck gone wrong. It reflects a deeper truth about the fragility of human lives when faced with overwhelming wealth. In just 3 years, a man who could have secured generations of prosperity instead watched his family collapse under the weight of fortune. As historians and journalists often note, Whittaker's saga is less about the lottery itself and more about the consequences of unchecked money, fame, and vulnerability in small-town America. Watch more interesting stories. Subscribe to our channel.